So if this works, welcome to Lockdown Yoga Practices. And today we're going to start laying down. I feel we deserve it. So if you come to lay down, and you can either lay with your legs straight out, or you can have your knees up, whatever's comfortable for you. Just from this position now, taking your attention to parts of the body that make contact with the floor, and really situating yourself on the ground, on your mat. Hello, Guinness. Come on, Guinness, stop licking my foot. Come on. Come on. Good boy. So you've got your knees up in the air, then also you can ground down through the soles of the feet. If your legs are straight out, then you can obviously ground through the whole of the back of the body. All the way from the back of the head, to the shoulders, to the pelvis, the back of the legs. Just really taking a moment to ground down and allow yourself to find your place today. And then now is the opportunity just to take your awareness around your body and notice how your body feels today. Maybe making a connection today between any activities that you've done, or perhaps any work that you've been doing that has maybe left some physical imprints in your body, so maybe some impact, or maybe less physical and maybe just more what you might consider to be emotional, but it still may be expressed as physical impacts. So, for example, your tension in your shoulders and neck and things like that. So just noticing and perhaps drawing those connections, rooting your current physical body and connecting with its history. And this might be a good opportunity to also maybe just notice and perhaps express some gratitude towards the parts of your body that perhaps do show those signs of carrying that physical impact, that emotional wear and tear. We tend to be negative in our thoughts about some of those things, but it's always a good opportunity just to thank our bodies for the work that they do and the way that they keep going. And perhaps with those moments of offering some gratitude, you can start to turn your attention to your breath and use your breath when you're placing your awareness perhaps on particular parts of your body, to maybe release any tension or some of the tension that you feel in those parts. So, for example, if you have some tension in your shoulder, your neck, quite common from sitting at a desk, or offer your gratitude to that part of your body, and then maybe spend some time directing your breath to your shoulders and your neck. And with each breath, just allowing a sense of relaxation to enter. But with no sense of drive. If the voice in your head, or however you're directing your breath, is going relax, 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 then just try and calm that voice and make it more of a wave that flows with your breath, like a sigh, an internal sigh as you breathe in, breathe out, and direct your breath to any parts of the body that perhaps need a little bit of extra nourishment today. And we're just going to slowly begin our movement practice by bringing one knee in to the chest and slowly making some circles from the hip. So turning, bringing it in, maybe giving yourself a bit of a hug, and then turning the knee in a rotation, so moving from the hip joint and just rotating gently one way, and then when you've done one way, changing direction. But really place your awareness, your mind focus into that hip joint. And perhaps have a little experiment here by placing your awareness maybe on your knee and just noticing how the move feels by focusing on your knee, and then shifting your awareness back to your hip joint and just noticing how it feels. And then when you've completed your circles one way and the other, bringing your knee back in, giving yourself a little hug, using your knee to maybe just massage into your tummy, and then bringing your knee down and taking the other one up and giving that one a hug. And then when you're ready, just beginning that rotation at the hip joint. And again, maybe play that little experimental game of noticing the difference of placing your awareness on your knee and then onto your hip. And perhaps if you've got problems with your knee might be the place you want to put your awareness, to really tune in to how it feels on your knee doing this position. But again, just whenever you're ready, taking your rotation back in the opposite direction. At your own speed, within your own movement. And then bringing your knee back in for one last hug. And now take the opportunity to bring the other knee back up and giving yourself a big hug. And if you want to, lifting your head up and just giving yourself a big squeeze. And then releasing down. Oh my God, I've got an attack of chihuahuas today. Guinness, that's so threatening. So now just taking your arms, oh my, Guinness, stop it. Taking your arms out to the side in a T shape. And then we're just going to take our legs, maybe just starting by doing some very slow movements from side to side. And you can start by just doing little movements. And as we've done in some practices before, start off with those little side to sides. And instead of using your brain to say, you must get further down, I must be able to twist, just allow your body to lead the movement. And you might find that gradually your knees reach a place that's right for them. And when you reach that place of hold, whatever that is for you, just coming down, and you can turn your head in the opposite direction. If that's comfortable, you don't have to if you don't want to. And just allowing yourself to stretch. And if you want to deepen the stretch, you can bring your top knee across a bit further in and just stretch it out. The invitation here is to explore what feels good for you in this pose. What feels right for you. It might be something completely different to how I'm doing it. But it might get right to the heart of where you need to be today. So you might bring your leg over, you might have your leg here, you might have it up here. Don't focus on the form, focus on how it feels in your body. And then when you're ready, bringing yourself back up to center, maybe taking a few more of those side to sides. Lola. She's just, can you see her? She's obviously joining in.
And you like to do the song, darling?
Pardon?
Yeah, come on. To the right. I'm rushing on, boy.
When you're ready, sorry for my interruption, bring your legs to come down to the other side in whatever's comfortable to you, or you can do as Lola's doing, which is she's found her comfortable pose for today, which apparently appears to be legs akimbo. But we should all take more of a lesson from dogs, I think. Very good, Isabel, very good. And just come into that pose and just relax. Oh, Bean, you're welcome. And again, just coming into the pose that's comfortable for you. That may be something like this, or it might be completely different. Then just bring your knees back up to centre. And we're just going to make our way to seated. So you can do that by rolling on your side, or if you want to, you can do a few rock and rolls up. But be careful of your chihuahua, who has a tendency to sit behind you when you're trying to do that. Oh, at the bottom of you. I feel like I need danger money. And when you're ready, just coming to sit cross-legged. Oh, Beanie, what do you like? Okay, so I think what we'll do is take our legs now out in front of us, and we will just begin to flex our toes up to our head just to start with. So really feeling that stretch down the back of the legs. Working through the backs of the legs. And just sitting in this posture, just taking a few breaths. And if you feel the back of your legs start to release and you want a bit more, just pushing into your heels that little bit more, just to keep that stretch. And then the choice is you can either take your legs apart or just bring one in if that's more comfortable for you. And then we're just going to reach up and bend towards the straight leg. And again, focusing on bringing your chest down, but keeping your chest long and down rather than just dropping into it. And coming back to that thought about connecting with the way it feels in your body. So taking your attention to the places that it feels more cumbersome in, that it doesn't feel natural in, and just sending your breath to that place. And then when you're ready, coming up and bringing your other leg in and switching over. Coming up to the middle, turning, and again, stretching over. Then again, you might notice a difference in each side. For me, my right hip is always a lot tighter than my left. So I really feel it. So for me, as I breathe in this one, I'm sending my breath into that right hip. And when you're ready, coming up to the middle and bringing yourself onto all fours. What are we doing here, Guinness? What are we doing? Okay, you're moving. So if you need something under your knees, then do put something under your knees if it's uncomfortable. If your hands and your wrists hurt, then just make sure you take the pressure off as and when required. But we're just going to do a few cat-cows just to warm up the spine a bit more. Just loosening off. And then, as always, when we come into this position, it's a really good one to begin some further exploration of your body, your spine and your shoulders just being in a slightly different place. So just using that opportunity to add in a sense of some free movement that suits your body. And it doesn't even have to stay in the cat-cow position. It's just an opportunity to kind of tune in a little bit more. And just moving as your body needs you to move. Or as actually your body moves itself. Oh, that was a good pop. And making your way from this cat-cow or whatever we're doing, you'll find that you eventually, hopefully, end up in a downward facing dog. And a really good opportunity here to just stretch out the calves. Maybe move a little bit in downward facing dog. Everyone, I think, has a tendency in yoga to want to perfect this pose that is downward facing dog. But actually there's a lot of movement that you can have that can loosen up your joints and check out your balance. So just finding out how it feels. And then eventually moving into plank, dropping down to your knees, or you can come down through the full plank if you want to, and coming onto your belly. And then lifting up into either a baby cobra or a larger cobra if that's comfortable, but don't push. And again, you might want to just do a few here, just lifting up and dropping down. And then eventually bringing your arms parallel and bring yourself into Sphinx pose. And now closing your eyes down and just taking a few very mindful breaths here. And again, turning your attention to where you need to direct the breath in this pose for you today. And if you're in this pose and you think, I don't really know where I need to direct my breath, that's absolutely fine. Just breathe. And then just coming down, and we just do a bit of a lying quad stretch. So just taking one leg at a time. And just holding on to wherever's comfortable and just allowing the front of that thigh. Whenever you're ready, just changing to the other one. And again, you might notice that there's a difference. And it really is just noticing the difference and being more aware of how your body is. And so coming back up, oh sorry Guinness, to all fours whenever you're ready. And we're just going to take, from this position, we're just going to take out one leg to the side with the toes pointing forward. And if that position is enough of a stretch for you, if that feels nice in your inner thigh and your hip, and you're quite happy there, then just stay there and just breathe. And if you want to deepen your stretch, or if you feel like you've got a little bit more, just coming down onto your elbows and pushing back slightly into the stretch. And then slowly bring yourself up onto your hands, bringing that leg in. Maybe in the middle, just coming to shake off a little bit if you need to, if you want to, and then taking it to the other side. And again, you can stay up on your hands if that's more comfortable for you today, or you can take it down to your elbows. And then whenever you're ready, coming back to the middle and just coming to rest on your knees. And from this position, if it feels good, just taking a few cat-cow type movements. So bringing the chest forward, just arching that back, and then bringing it back and curling into the spine. Hey boy. And then we're just going to come up onto a high knee position. Just going to take our leg out to the side as we were before. And then we're just going to start by stretching out and over. So really lengthening down through the whole of the side. And then coming up. And just doing a slight bend the other way. Making sure you're not doing as I'm doing and resting your hand on your knee. So just make sure if you are resting it on that knee, you're not putting any weight through it. And then just making a small flowing movement out of that. So stretching out and curling back. And again, if your knee, supporting knee becomes uncomfortable, then please come out. If you need a cushion underneath that knee, just place a cushion underneath that knee. And then on the last bend over, bring back to the middle, bringing that leg in, coming, oh, my knee's gone a bit dead. And then taking a big stretch up. You want to do a small back bend, you can. Coming down through the middle. And then we're going to do the other side. So again, starting off in that held out stretch pose. And then coming up and just doing a small side bend the opposite direction. And then flowing between the two for a short time. And on the last side bend over, bringing that leg back in, coming down and coming into child's pose. And then we're just going to make our way onto our backs. Returning to the position in which we started with our knees up. And we're just going to do a few very gradual bridges. So just starting with that gentle pelvis tilt. So just this small tilting of the pelvis at the very bottom of your back to start with. And gradually, just maybe a vertebrae at a time, just starting to lift off and then come back down. And then again. So just a gradual increasing of the motion of the bridge, but not pushing straight up. Hello, Donna. Allowing your body to naturally find that next level without that pushing, striving, forcing. Trying to make the movement flow until you get to a point where your body is comfortable, perhaps in that bridge position, and then you have the option to just hold there if you would like. You can bring your hands underneath Lola and just put them into like this sort of intertwined shape, and just have them underneath you in a bit more of a bind. Just making sure you're nice and in line. Don't let your knees go out to the side. And then take a few breaths. You might want to stretch your arms up overhead. And then very gently bringing yourself back down and reversing the journey that we just went on. So now each time you're going up and coming down, but each time that bridge is getting slightly smaller rather than, as we did before, slightly higher. Hello, Paul. Until you just get to the point where, again, you're in that position of just tilting very gently with your pelvis. Until you come to a place of stillness. And now is a really good opportunity just to let the energy of the practice flow around your body. And whenever you're ready, move into a position that's comfortable for you for your relaxation. So it might be staying in this position, it might be taking your legs out long, bringing your arms down by your sides, and now really just surrendering. And as you lay here, coming back to using your breath to send some gratitude to all parts of the body, and particularly those that you noticed more during that practice, and perhaps you're still noticing now. Just directing that breath. That energy, that gratitude all around your body.